Welcome. I am Jason Morano, and I am a Quest Senior Security Solutions Consultant. And we're going to be covering today in this video Security Guardian and configuring the hybrid collector. It's a service account, so it's going to need its own service account. So that's checklist number one. And you saw me over here. I was already sneaking around looking. I've already created it. I'm going to use a service account. I would recommend you do. The idea of setting this up is that you can create a domain user account and use that as the service account. So you'll see right here, it's a domain user account, service hybrid. You're going to want to add this to your just domain users. That's it. No other permissions are required to properly operate the product. There's a caveat, as with all caveats. The next thing, once you create this domain user account and have jotted down the password, is go ahead and put that on the member server that you're going to be using to connect to the Quest on-demand SaaS tenant. You're going to want to make sure that this box, this machine has that service account and local administrator because it has to start as a service. So it needs permissions to do that. And thus that account needs to be in the local administrator group of this machine. Okay, that's just to get it set up. Can it and should it be a domain admin account? The answer is possibly. You might want to. We do gather a few additional security information in terms of findings. We will gather more about your environment if it has the privilege to do other processes. That's not by us, it's by Microsoft hardening their operating system over time. Anybody's account used to be able to do a lot of extra access. And unfortunately, that isn't something you can do with just a regular domain user account. So with that, if you do use a domain admin account to do this, I would highly recommend using a GMSA account, and we support GMSA. So get your domain user account, add it into the local administrator account, make sure this is a box that you want to use TLS to communicate, and you have worked with the network folks to make sure it can communicate out to our SaaS cloud. And all of that information is documented in our user guide. Now, I am in here in a fresh environment. So the assumption is you've already set up, of course, on demand, and you've created accounts that are going to be accessing it. Here, you're going to see, if I go to security dashboard, the blank interface with a little pop-up that says, hey, to collect on-premise information, you need to install the hybrid collector. And it's down here, if I scroll down. And then it takes you through some of the steps that we will be covering in other sections of the video series to onboard Security Guardian. So I'm going to walk through and just say, we're going to start here. There'll be separate videos for each of the other connectors that you're going to be setting up for any of the ones that you will own. So let's look at this. This is our focus. If you come here to hit configure, basically all it's doing is open up another tab and bringing you to Tenant's hybrid agents. So I'm just going to close this so we don't have two tabs to work from. And I'm going to go to Tenant's hybrid agents. Now, if you come here and you happen to have an actual hybrid agent already in here, and you'll get to see what that looks like, it means that you are using our other licensed products possibly, either migrations or your Active Directory disaster recovery for identities solution uses this hybrid agent. Basically, a lot of our SaaS-based solutions that have to talk back to your on-premise Active Directory domain need to have this agent. The good thing is we do not make you put multiple agents. for every license that you might have. One agent covers them all. So you will have all of the information gathered only by one hybrid collector. So if it's in here, congratulations, you could skip this video. If you don't and you're like me, you will be following the rest of the steps. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go ahead and click Add Agent. And in this pop-up, you're going to see this window here. It's a 1, 2, 3 essentially of basically leading you through. You're going to be able to download your agent to your environment. And I'm working in this console on the machine I'm going to be installing, just to make it so that you don't have to jump around and copy files and all that to different machines. I'm doing it right from the same machine. You might not. So the first thing I get people to ask me all the time is this passphrase. I don't want you to create it. I don't want you to know it. It's a one-time creation process. This passphrase, keeping it and storing it in a password manager is going to mean nothing to you. It times out after X amount of time. And it can only be installed once. So once you use this passphrase, you are done. It is burnt. It creates the unique identifier to talk to your SaaS environment. It's being created up here in your own instance and organization of On-Demand. So I'm going to, for simplicity's sake, take the 4 that it generates. But you could see based on character count, you can go up to 1024. If you want to just pound away at the keyboard and create some random 1024 character passcode, passphrase, you can. That's okay. There is no wrong way of doing this. So basically just hitting copy and continue. You'll see it copied it to my copy and paste buffer. So it's already there. If you want, it's not a bad idea to go ahead and just open up Notepad. I'll just use Notepad++. Paste it here. Just hold on to it. It's just good in case your copy paste buffer clears out. So you can see it's already done. It's completed. So, and you can see you must install this by the 23rd. So you got 10 days. Now you know, and it will expire. I'm going to download it. Okay, a couple of steps here that I want you to make note of. We can minimize this. Okay, so it's in downloads. I'm going to go and install this, but before I do that, I'm going to go to Properties, click Unblock. For security purposes, you're going to want to unblock its security capabilities on the member server that you're installing this. Otherwise, the installer will fail. Run as administrator, always good best practice, especially when you're running something that's going to require a service. You can be logged in as your service account, privileged service account to do this, or you could be logged in as the service account. That's the other way. But in either case, that service account that we talked about that I set up in Active Directory has to be an administrator of this box. Any deviation from that, and this will fail. So we're going to say yes. You can see it's prompting us. Do we want to do install? Absolutely. So let's go ahead and enter that in. I'm going to refresh this. Give it a second here. There we go. Specify the agent installation path. You could take the default path. I do. I like knowing it's in the root of C. However, I do speak to customers all the time. We don't put anything in C except system, and that's fine. Put it in wherever you want it. I like it if it is the default path, because then I just go into C and I can grab whatever installation logs or logs that maybe support is asking for. So I always know where to find it. I don't have to hunt around and program data or something else like that. I just hit enter here, so it's going to create that folder, and now it's asking for that passphrase we created. So it's in my copy paste buffer. I'm just going to hit enter here. And then it's just basically saying, what do you want the name of the agent to be identified in your Quest On-Demand console. For me, I'm just going to take this. This is the name of this local machine. You could see it down here, host name. I'm just going to use that. And then it asks the ever important question, when questioning Active Directory, are you going to use just plain old LDAP or LDAP-S or secure LDAP? If you decide to move forward with secure LDAP, you're going to say yes here. You're going to put in a Y. And then it will use 636 to talk to your domain controller or domain controllers, depending on which one it connects to. And it's going to then use that to communicate. For simplicity's sake, for this video, I am just going to say no and use regular LDAP. So this is the service count that I created. So if I just come back here real quick, you could see SVC hybrid. So that's what I used. And I am going to, in here, say, now there's a few different conventions for adding this. You can go old school like me, QD lab / SVC hybrid. Or you could do SVC hybrid at qdlab.local, whatever your email account. With service counts, I don't, but you can use that convention here if you wish and use full email address. The next option is putting in a service count you created. Remember, I did put it out there. If you want to use an administrator domain admin's account to collect more data to be analyzed by Security Guardian, you can use a GMSA account. And when I hit enter here, it's going to prompt me for the password, but with a GMSA account that ends in the $sign, you're going to end up bypassing that because, of course, you'll never know what the password actually is. For us normal people using old-fashioned service accounts, I now have the ability to just put in this password. And now it should complete and do the rest of the installation. Green is awesome. Any other color, it will stop and tell you that there is an error. So this is now properly installed in the background. Let's double check that. How do we do that? It's simple. We just go to services. And then you're going to see, I'm going to click, and to get there fast, I'm going to click Q on my keyboard, and you will see right here, Quest on Demand. And you will see also over here, there's the service count. So if I made a mistake, don't panic. If I used my privilege account and I, want to swap that out for a GMSA account or swap it out for the service count, say I picked my account instead, that's okay. You can switch it right here. That's all you need to do. And stop and start the service is probably a good idea. After that, it probably cycles and does that once you change it. But just make sure it starts without a problem and you're good to go. Now, I'm going to come back over to the console and we're going to finish this up. I'm going to hit refresh here because this is just static. It should update, and it did. So you see the name that it defaulted to when I was setting it up, but there are two more actions that I need to take care of. Okay, so the first action, I'm going to go into edit configuration. So it's connected, it's enabled, it knows it's there. We do not need to worry about diagnostic access unless I'm talking to support and they want me to turn it on, and here's the little switch for it. So we will ignore it. For now, what we're going to do is say select action, select collect Active Directory object data, and then we're going to add new. And it is qdlab. Now, I don't have to worry about domain controller. You could put back in this box that popped up if I hit it, select new, hit select existing. I could have put in a preferred. If you wish, you can. It's just going to pick whatever is available to it. And Microsoft has that way of figuring out which domain controller is more responsive based on the connection. So it's in here. Now, the last thing you don't want to forget, now that I put my domain in, and by the way, if you have other domains, or other forests, you're going to want to put them in. Excuse me. If you have other forests, you're going to want to put them in. If this account has been created and is cross forest and it has that permissions, you're going to hit save. So you can see right here, it has updated and it's successfully now running. It knows it has one domain, and look at that. It's already running one action. What does that mean? And how do I know what is it doing at this point? I could go to security, dashboard. Now you're going to see nothing is in here yet, but if I go down to settings, data collection, I should see, and I do, it is running. Now for this video, this is how you set up and get your connector, hybrid collector connected to your tenant. So we will cover in subsequent videos the other connectors down below for the Entra ID collector and Change Auditor if you have that on-prem, and most of our customers do. And if you're not, you could be setting up Bloodhound Enterprise as the source of truth or the tier 0 collector, and we would not be setting our own collector up. But that would be covered during a Bloodhound Enterprise video. So you understand the options here and why we didn't pick them. But as of this video, you are now connected and communicating with your Quest On Demand Security Guardian console. Thank you.